Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we share devotional and inspirational messages. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Today we're going to be talking about a true satisfaction in life. So I just want to post one or two questions to you folks today. Number one is, what would you consider a satisfactory life? Or what does a satisfactory life looks like to you? One can say that having a big house, a car, a stable job, or a business would be a satisfactory life. Others probably will say that being surrounded with their families and loved ones can be considered a satisfactory life. So as you can see, each person has a different interpretation of what a satisfactory look like or would be in their situation. Now, a perfect example would be King Solomon. He was probably the most wisest man who ever lived, and he has also probably the richest man during his time, or we can consider probably the richest man to live on this earth. You know, God blesses King Solomon with knowledge, wisdom, and power, and he has everything that you and I could only dream of. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, beginning from verse 1 to 23, we can read there that he tried all the pleasures in order to find out what is good. So the verses also tells us that he tried to cheer himself by drinking wine, and he even tried to embrace the foolishness act during his time. So he tried everything. He tried drinking wine, he tried to do some foolish things, right? He said in the verse, if you can read in the verse, he said he wanted to see what was good for a person to do under the heaven during the few days of their life. So this is Solomon's reasoning why he does all of those things. He said, I want to see what was good for people to do while we live, or while under the heaven during the few days of their lives. So in other words, he basically tried all things, or tried everything in this world has to offer. He tried drinking wine, he tried doing all the things that the world could offer during his time, just to find out what was good for the people while we stay on this earth and while we wait for, the time. The foolishness, the wine, and everything that you and I could imagine, he tried all of that, and he came up with one conclusion. He came up with only one conclusion after trying all of those things. And his conclusion was all of those things, the pleasure, the wine, the foolishness, and everything, they're all meaningless. So that's his conclusion. If you're going to read in the same chapter, he also tried to find satisfaction and contentment in all of his great projects. So the book said that Solomon built parks, water dams, buildings, architectures, structures, houses, gardens, and park. But still, he cannot find satisfaction in all of those, and he finds all of those pointless. As you can see, King Solomon's story is somehow very familiar in our times today. King Solomon's story is a very familiar story, especially in our times today. We have so many successful people, but dissatisfaction with life is still a very common part of our life. We continue to pursue pleasures, power, money, and recognition to the point that it ended up destroying someone else's life, if not our life. I'm pretty sure you and I know someone or a person that a very successful, has everything, but still you can feel the dissatisfaction in their life. I am not saying that we should not pursue our dreams. There's nothing wrong with pursuing a dream or a good life for ourselves and or for our families. But we have to remember that, or we have to learn how to control ourselves not to fall into a dissatisfaction and not to be able to be content on what we have. Because as far as I know, or in my point of view, that's where the problem comes. You started earning money, then you started wanting more. I can relate to that because I work abroad for my family, just to give a good life for my kids, right? So as a Filipino overseas worker, our main goal is to provide something for our family, to provide a comfortable life, to provide a good life for our kids, for our parents. We came here abroad, or probably in other places, with one goal in mind. We have our dreams, we're focused, we set our mind into our dreams, probably have a house, a small business for ourselves and for our family, right? The problem comes if we already accomplished those things and yet we want more, and yet we still feel dissatisfied, right? I think one reason is sometimes we envy other people. You see your neighbors having a good house, then you want to have a good house as well. You see your neighbor having a new car, then you want also a new car. So it doesn't stop, the pursuit of material things doesn't stop. So probably we need to, that's why I said we need to learn how to control ourselves. Once you get into the point that, okay, I am satisfied in what I have, then we have to stop trying hard. We have to slow down a bit, because if we continue working and working just to gain all those material things, at the end of the day we'll get burned out. At the end of the day, we just wasted our life pursuing things that in the view of King Solomon's, he considered meaningless. In Ecclesiastes chapter 2, Solomon has everything. He has all the power, the money, all the riches that you could imagine. But for him, those are meaningless. Material things brings a temporary joy and satisfaction. We have to remember that. And we should not always pursue materialism just to make us happy. That's not how the life works, in my point of view, or in my own humble opinion. King Solomon had all the wealth and everything. He has all the resources anybody could ever wanted. But the truth of the matter is, nothing brought him a long-lasting satisfaction. Those material things didn't brought him a long-lasting satisfaction. What brought him satisfaction is God. You see, God brings joy He brings satisfaction in our life, especially in our soul. It gives us the true satisfaction and the true enjoyment. And we have to remember that true happiness, true enjoyment comes when we align ourselves to God's will. Materialism, material things brings you a temporary satisfaction, temporary happiness. But it doesn't address the satisfactions of your soul or the happiness of your soul. Material things address the happiness of our flesh. But what about the happiness of our soul? Only God can bring a true satisfaction and true happiness, especially in our soul and in our spiritual life. And that is the most important as a follower of Christ. I encourage you today to try to live a life with a true satisfaction with Jesus. Invite Him in your life. Accept Him as your God and personal Savior. And I can guarantee you, you'll get the true satisfaction that no money, no material things could ever give you. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you get your portion for today's message. And if you like the message, please click the like button and share this message to your friends and family. And if you like, you can also subscribe so when I upload a new video, you'll get notified. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in the next video, and God bless us all.